Inside Drag Racing coming to you from Route 66 Raceway here in Joliet, Illinois in the Super Chevy Show Series. You know, if you tuned into Inside Drag Racing to see beautiful show quality cars that race as well, Barry Wood small block Camaro is probably a prime candidate for your type of viewing. But I want to warn you, the name of this show is called Inside Drag Racing. And this may not be the prettiest piece we've ever presented on this show, but it's one of the hardest core pieces of drag racing history I've seen that's still in competition. Mike Molino Jr. and Sr. run this car, and if you look closely at some of the decals on this thing, it'll give you an indication of the history from around this already fabled area. How about a 62 Winter Nationals show and go? Remember the car show they used to have before the Winter Nationals back then? Well, let's see, a 69 Pomona decal, an old Clay Smith Woodpecker, and my favorite, the A-Gas designation, an American Hot Rod Association sticker. If this car didn't race for years at US 30 Raceway in Gary, Indiana, I've never seen one that did. It's a 1956 Chevrolet. When you lift up that original one-piece fiberglass front end, you'll find the original gas coupe and sedan engine setback, all the necessary tricks for a legal class racer. Now, this thing sits about as high as a Peterbilt. It's one of the most aerodynamically unstable rides you could possibly imagine, but it's exactly how everybody built their cars back then. This thing is the epitome of, what, 35-year-old technology, Mike?
It's about mid-60s it was built.
Where in the world did you find it? Have you always owned it?
I owned it for about the last 16 years.
Was it always a race car, you
It's always
think?
been a race car.
No kidding. Now, where did you find it?
I found it out in Plainfield.
Illinois.
Plainfield, Illinois, right. I called the original owner. I tracked down the original owner. He was the north side of Chicago, and he says it was a race car back in early 60s, but about mid-60s it went through the A-gas conversion.
Yeah, I was going to say, with that A-Gas designation on there, you got to figure he ran this thing in the gas coupe and sedan circuit all over the area.
Right, right.
An amazing car, and you have not changed a thing. I mean, the wheels on this car are worth a fortune.
Right. They're antique wheels on there. They're magnesium.
Yeah, original, I believe, American magnesium spoke wheels.
Right, spindle mounted. You can't find them anymore.
Yeah.
Probably worth more than the car.
Yet, this thing runs in the mid-10s.
10s on two wheels.
Yeah. Not necessarily the front or the rear, either.
Just the rear.
Now, at, what, 135 miles an hour in this car, it has got to be floating like you wouldn't believe at the finish line with all the air under it.
Right, and it's only got the rear brakes on the back. It doesn't have front brakes.
Just this is an added attraction. Huh?
Right, it's a thrill ride. It's a thrill ride.
But I get the feeling you obviously don't want to change it.
I like it just the way it is. A lot of people, I mean, it's like an antique museum piece.
Now, rumor has it, the kid owns the car.
That's right.
Now, you weren't around to see these things run. You look at all the late model machinery around here, you must think the old guys were nuts to drive these cars.
I like them.
You like them?
I like it.
Real men drove cars like this.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody with the low, stable stuff are they're weak dogs.
Yep.
Now, have you driven it?
I went around the block a few times. I'm only 15, so. But next year I'll be drag racing it.
You gonna put him in it?
Sure.
Full throttle 1040s at 16 in this car.
We'll give it a try.
Well, it just goes to show you that drag racing history doesn't necessarily end with the old guys. If we can keep putting kids like this in cars like this, then I think the nostalgia effort will probably continue for quite some time. I know one person on our staff that would absolutely love this car. Do I even need to tell you that it's Big Daddy Don Garlits? Here he is with this week's pick. Don Garlits shows